At 12:17 a.m., my phone buzzed with a number I didn't know. Are you still up? I stared at it for a full minute. I'd had months of failed first dates. Coffee that turned into silence. You're nice, but, messages. I was so careful all the time I felt like a draft version of a person. So I typed, who is this, because courage felt too big, and honesty felt safe. Mara, the reply came. You left a black running glove at the gym. Front desk gave me your number. Sorry if that's weird. A glove. Symbolic and a little dumb, like fate trying stand-up. I told her I could swing by tomorrow. She wrote, I'm crossing your neighborhood after class. I can drop it. Also, you look like you're racing your thoughts when you run. It made me smile. We texted until 2. She studied product design. I work support for a tech company that prided itself on friendly emails and buggy updates. She liked streetcars and lemon cookies. She hated how cold radiators get in November. I admitted I wanted a real relationship and had no idea how to cross the bridge between good conversation and, let's try. She wrote. Bridges hold if you take the first step. See you tomorrow. We met at a small cafe that always smelled like oranges because they zest everything, even the brownies. She wore a navy coat, hair still damp from the rain. She set the glove on the table like a ticket to a different life. I said thank you and made some joke about me and my dramatic glove. She laughed, and I watched her eyes crease a little, a detail you remember when you want to remember someone. Coffee stretched into a walk. A walk stretched into ramen at her favorite tiny spot. On the way out, she hesitated at the door, fingers circling the condensation on the glass. There's one thing, she said. I didn't get your number from the front desk. My friend did. She, kind of dared me to text you first. I nodded, feeling both flattered and like a social experiment. Why? Because you always look focused. Untouchable, almost. She said I should test that. She tucked hair behind her ear. I wanted to know what your voice sounds like when you're not running. That night we called. I was pacing my small living room, passing the plant I kept failing to water. She talked about her parents, who were very involved. Her dad owned a small construction company and kept a spreadsheet mind about everything. Her mom preferred tradition, Sunday dinners, polite smiles, rings before apartments. They liked clear plans. I was a blurry sketch. We eased into something soft but real. Morning texts. Photo swaps of dumb meals we cooked. A Sunday thrift store date where she tried on a too big varsity jacket and flexed at a mirror. I took the picture and knew it would be my phone background for longer than made sense. 2 weeks in, she said, they want to meet you at dinner. I straightened, suddenly hyper-aware of dishes in my sink. This soon? If I wait, it's worse, she said. They fill the space with worries. Okay, I said, even though my stomach felt like a test I hadn't studied for. Let's do it. The night of, I wore my best shirt. The table was loud with plates and opinions. Her mom asked about stability. Her dad asked about upside. I tried to explain that helping users solve problems trains you to care about people you never meet. The room didn't shift. After dessert, her dad walked me out. The air was cold and clean. You seem nice, he said, tone level. But nice boys get tired. Life needs backbone. How are you with pushback? I thought about it, then said, learning. He nodded like it proved his point. Mara texted me later, I'm sorry. I typed, deleted, retyped. It's okay. They don't know me yet. She sent back a dot. Then another. Then, I want them to, but it's not simple. I didn't sleep. I ran the next morning until the river looked like a line I might cross if I kept going. When I stopped, I had a plan. Not a grand one. Just this, Stop auditioning. Start building. We chose connection first. I started showing up for her life in small, unglamorous ways. Morning coffee runs before her studio critiques. Standing in the aisle of a hardware store debating sandpaper grades for her prototype. Learning the bus schedule she took when it rained because she hated driving in puddles. I caught myself anchoring to specifics, because specifics felt like proof. One Tuesday we cooked together at my place. My apartment was a neutral box that smelled like dish soap. She pulled her hair up and read the pasta instructions like a ritual. Halfway through, she leaned on the counter. My mom asked if you're serious, she said. I said yes. She said, about what? I rinsed basil and thought about verbs. About trying. About us. She smiled at that, but it was thin. They think love is a checklist. Then we'll make a list, I said. Item 1, don't burn the garlic. We burned the garlic. We ate anyway. After, we made an actual list on my fridge with a dry erase marker. It wasn't romantic in the obvious way. It was dumb and perfect. Our list grew. Meet deadlines. Communicate plans by Thursday. Save $50 a week each. 2 nights a week, screens off, talk. 1 weekend a month, visit parents. The last item was hers. If we hit a wall, no ghosting. We name it. Walls arrived fast. At their house, her dad quizzed me on career ladders and salary bands like I was interviewing for their daughter. Her mom asked if my family had similar values. I explained my mom was a nurse who worked nights and that I learned gentleness from watching her take care of people in pain. That got a pause, but not a pivot. Then came the real hit. Mara's mom invited us to a church fundraiser gala. It mattered to them. I said yes before I checked my calendar. That same day my team had a critical software rollout. If I messed it up, real customers suffered. I asked my boss for backup. He said we were already thin. I asked myself if I could do both. That was a lie dressed as ambition. I told Mara I couldn't make it. She went quiet. You promised, she said. I know. I miscounted. If I show up and can't concentrate, I'll be the guy on his phone during speeches. Your mom will hate me more. She'll hate that you're not there. We fought. It wasn't dramatic. It was worse. Disappointed, careful, like we were placing blame in small piles and marking them with sticky notes. In the end, she went without me. I watched the rollout from a chair that squeaked and drank terrible coffee and felt like a coward. Around midnight she texted a photo of the table. White linens. Centerpieces. Empty chair beside her. They asked where you were, she wrote. I said working. Mom said, see? I typed, deleted. I'm sorry. I know, she wrote. I'm home now. The next day, her dad called me. He didn't yell. You made a choice, he said. That's good. Choices define men. Just be clear which team you play for. It burned. It also pushed something upright in me. I was done reacting to their tests. If I wanted this, I had to lead. Not over them. With her. I took a day off. I cleaned my place, then sat with a notebook and drafted an actual plan. Not for them. For us. 6-month horizon. Job path. Savings. Rent options. What I could control. What we could control together. I printed it because paper felt serious. I texted Mara to come by. When she arrived, I felt like I was about to present to a board. I spread pages on the table. This is not a speech, I said. It's a map. I want you. I want a life that isn't whiplash. I can't fix your parents, but I can make it unreasonable to doubt us. She read in silence. Her eyes got shiny but didn't fall apart. You made a budget, she said, a small laugh escaping like air. And a schedule. And a conversation plan. Yeah. It's dorky. It's leadership, she said, and stepped closer. Let's go show them. We chose both. A steady proving, then one clean conversation. First, the proving. We stuck to our list. We saved money. I applied for an internal promotion I'd been avoiding. I developed training docs that made onboarding smoother. When the director asked who made them, my manager pointed at me. The promotion came with a raise that didn't fix everything but made things less abstract. We found a small one-bedroom that looked south and got bright at 9 a.m. The lease was contingent on a cosigner. I swallowed my pride and asked my mom. She said yes and told me to buy real curtains. We also showed up to family events. I arrived early. I helped set tables. I fixed a chirping smoke detector. I didn't try to charm anyone. I just did the next right thing. Every time her mom tried a little test, I tried a little patience. When her dad made a pointed comment, I answered it straight, no tap dance. Then the hard part. After a month of calm friction, Mara got a call. Her grandmother's health had dipped. Stress rippled through the family. At dinner that week, edges were sharp. Her mom served slices of roast like they were verdicts. Her dad looked tired and ready to take it out on something. He started with the lease. You want to move in together, he said, neutral voice that wasn't neutral. You want us to celebrate a decision we disagree with. I took a breath. I'd rehearsed anger. It wasn't useful. You don't have to celebrate, I said. You need to know we're doing this carefully. Carefully looks like marriage, her mom said. Carefully looks like commitment, I said. We're committed. My hands weren't shaking, but only because I was holding them under the table. Her dad studied me like a blueprint. What happens when she's sick and you have a rollout, he asked. I show up for her, I said. And if the rollout breaks, I own it, because I chose my priority. If I'm not willing to choose, I shouldn't ask to be chosen. Silence. Forks. The hum of the refrigerator. Mara touched my knee. It helped. Her mom's voice went softer, which somehow scared me more. And when it's boring, she asked. When nothing big is happening and love is chores and bills and late buses. I will still be there, I said. Because boring is where promises live. I didn't deliver a speech. I just refused to move. When they pushed, I didn't sway. When they tested, I didn't perform. I answered. I owned my choices. I said I would protect their daughter by building a stable life with her, not by borrowing their rules and calling them mine. It wasn't cinematic. It was adult. Later that week, we signed the lease. We bought second-hand furniture and argued about a rug pattern that looked like TV static. My mom brought a toolbox and a stubbornness for crooked shelves. We hung the curtain rod wrong twice. We fixed it 3 times. We laughed, tired and giddy, and ate takeout on boxes. 2 days after we moved in, Mara's grandmother sent a note through her aunt. 3 sentences written in careful script. A house is not a paper. It is where 2 people keep choosing. Keep choosing. Her dad came by with a plunger because no apartment is finished until something clogs. He stood in our doorway and scanned the room. The light was good. The rug made more sense in daylight. He nodded once. Backbone, he said. I see it. Her mom visited a week later, bringing extra towels and that look mothers get when they're pretending to inspect dust but actually inspecting hope. She didn't apologize. I didn't need her to. She set the towels down and asked if we had enough forks. We didn't. We laughed. She laughed too, a small surrender disguised as kindness. On a quiet night, Mara and I sat on the floor eating cereal because the couch hadn't arrived. I looked at her and thought about the first text, the glove, the way I used to operate like I was waiting for an invitation. Now I understood, I had to be the one to invite my own life in. I'm proud of you, she said, head on my shoulder. I'm proud of us, I said. Accuracy matters. Outside, the city hummed with its own private dramas. Inside, we wrote our small, boring, beautiful ones. I didn't feel like a draft anymore. I felt like a person with a map, holding the hand of the person who helped him draw it.